In late May 1968, the Beatles recorded 27 tracks they had initially composed while staying in India. These sessions took place at George Harrison's house, Kinfauns in Esher, Surrey. Many of the songs later appeared on the band's self-titled double LP, commonly known as the White Album, while others surfaced on the members' solo releases. Harrison's Not Guilty and Circles, McCartney's Junk, and Lennon's Child of Nature, which he later transformed into Jealous Guy, a heartfelt piece dedicated to Yoko Ono, were all part of this prolific period. Among the recordings was a stripped-down version of Sour Sea Milk, taped on Harrison's Ampex reel-to-reel machine, but ultimately left off the White Album. Harrison wrote the song during the Beatles' visit to Rishikesh, India, and its lyrics reflect themes of transcendental meditation, a practice the band was deeply engaged in at the time. Speaking to NME in 1968, Harrison explained that he composed Sour Milk Sea remarkably quickly while in Rishikesh, finishing it in about 10 minutes. He recalled that he did not have his own guitar with him in India and had to wait for brief moments in the evening to borrow Lennon's instrument, since Lennon was usually playing it himself. Despite being inspired in India, Harrison envisioned the song as a straightforward rock and roll number from the outset. The more robust rock version was later recorded by British singer Jackie Lomax between June 24th and 26th at Abbey Road Studios, with contributions from several Beatles. Produced by Harrison, the session included Paul McCartney and Ringo Starr, as well as Eric Clapton and pianist Nicky Hopkins. At the time, Harrison was co-producing Lomax's debut album, Is This What You Want?, for the Beatles' Apple Records label. Although most of the album's material was written by Lomax, Harrison contributed this track. Although Sour Sea Milk originated with the Beatles and even featured members of the group, Lomax's single struggled to mercy. Ally. Its release coincided with the overwhelming success of another Beatles track dominating radio playlists. In an interview before his death in 2013, Lomax pointed out that Hey Jude, notably one of the first 7-minute singles to achieve massive airplay, saturated the airwaves to such an extent that his own record had little chance of being heard. He also noted that Mary Hopkins' hit, Those Were the Days, was receiving heavy rotation at the same time. Lomax further explained that radio stations were reluctant to play multiple songs from the same label, as competing companies such as Warner Brothers and Capitol would object. As a result, his single was effectively sidelined. By the time radio interest returned after the initial frenzy surrounding the bigger hits had subsided, the opportunity for Sour Sea Milk had largely passed. The Beatles' original demo of Sour Sea Milk was eventually made available in 2018 on the Beatles' 50th anniversary edition reissue of the White Album.